Alrighty, good morning everyone. Good evening. Hello in general. As you can see, it's more raining today. Let's not speak the obvious, but not once I complain about the weather. I mean, I was upset, but you get your sunny days and you get your rainy days. So I looked over pretty much the first video, the first episode or entry into the journal, and I was looking for the kind of like constructive analysis of my own, and to create a feedback to see what can be improved, and of course there's a million things to improve on, right? But first, what comes to my mind is the Utagi awareness chart I created back in the day based on my studies in university. If in business management there used to be plan or something, I think the first one was planning, then was plan, or like organize, plan, lead, and control. But I was thinking, you know what, for me, at least where I was at the moment, and even now, more sense makes like these four variables. Everyone can change up the way they want it, right? But it's like 4 seasons, right? So why I chose control first, because there are things we can control and things that we can't quite control, pretty much can't, right? And therefore I chose this element first to at least control the things I can. So that's probably would be my personal input to, like, let's say, okay, if I choosing and journal entry creation every day, let's say, or some sort of a frequency, stick to that, because what can happen, like, yeah, I know, like, a lot of things can happen, but at the same time I know throughout the day, if I have a dedicated time frame for a journal entry like I'm doing now, let's say on my way while I'm driving, I see why not, right? Because after all, that's time efficiency. So the second one would, and how that would reflect to the, how do you say it? How would that reflect to the content creation, and how to help to improve it, right? So pretty much, okay, I decided I need journal entry, right? So there you go, I'm in control of that. And then the second one would be, I wanted I always put leading rather than planning, so I control what I can control, what's in my hands, and then I'm leading that idea of controlling, let's say, control over content creation, right? And then it's planning, because pretty much that's where I'm at now. Okay, how I gonna stay motivated and create, let's say, to my own standards of, let's say, going back to brainstorming, efficiency, structure, like sort of a structure, right? So I looked even at the first video and I said, okay, I need more structure, because so much talking, which is good, but then you might as well make a movie, like documentary, a longer piece, right? Or because I looked it up in time, I said 32 minutes, right? I even wanted to cut it in halves, and then even like 16, 8, 4, 2, and then 1, and there you go, right? Because I'm experimenting, right? Trying to be versatile, and sure thing, I'm trying to be legit, right? And that's not hard to do once you feel comfortable with yourself. And to be comfortable with yourself, you have to get out of your comfort zone. And for me, like, getting out of the comfort zone is probably trying something new. In this case, it's like producing this material for. It's like I look at this as a family album back in the day, like photos, right? Imagine my family wants to check it out, or somehow, like, I don't know, they want to view it. So instead of, it's pretty much like you do it once and it's there forever, right? And that's what I was thinking. That would be sure thing of controlling, leading, and planning. And fourth one is organizing. And I always said organizing for success. Excuse me. And yeah, here we are, organizing for the success. It's like basketball, 4 quarters, right? Of course, there's a warm-up, there's a preseason, there's a training, there's scouting, researching, bringing up the strategy, tactics, intensity, because it can be going like 100% all the time, maybe for a short period of a time. But if the period, or even like or what he's saying, I'm gonna say longevity. I just like this word. I have to look up what that means. But let's say if I have to go for, it's like a movie, right? It has its climax, it has its like intros, pre-plays, whatever. It's pretty much more than one character, right? Elements, it all comes in place. In my opinion, to create a good story, you need to be a good storyteller. And if you have a good story, it's creating a relationship to the people on the both sides. Even if for me now it's a monologue, but looking down, it can be, I don't know what's the word is that. For example, if my monologue is being, if it's triggering another story, and therefore I see why not to try it, because the idea of this whole shebango is to create a good vibes, share a good vibes, and show by example, support, and yeah, that's pretty much what it is, you know. Okay, today we're gonna take a different route because it's already trafficked up, and that's what happens when you leave 10 minutes later and no one's going left, so I have to stick to the plan. And again, being dynamic, flexible, right? That's important. I haven't been stretching for a really long time. I tried a little bit, but it was painful, and I was okay, we're gonna put this on hold and do this some another time. And going back to brainstorming, right? It's all started with an idea of one day being a giver, right? Someone who creates something valuable and shares it for another people to benefit from. And for me, it's essential to become a leader of my own philosophy. And the saying I remember is, beautiful minds think alike, is how do you say, a cornerstone of this operation to succeed, right? I'm just looking at the bus lane and I'm like, it's tempting, right? And I know I'm going left sooner or later, but again, when is that left gonna come? So we're gonna just pull a U here and we're gonna try to go in here, because I know that certain things can beat experience. And I sure did have some experience driving to work Because like you can't beat traffic, but you sure can navigate, and it's not gonna be speed, as Connor said. It's gonna be a precision beats speed. I think that's what he said. But overall, it's life is a game. Yeah, you can say it like this. Life is a journey. So many comparisons to it, but it's. I was speaking that with my colleague yesterday because I have a thoughts on that, and I'm thinking that I'm actually mentioned Elon Musk, how he described it. I think he said simulation, right? And you know, it's simple and it's complicated, and it's pretty much it is what you think it is. But overall, I was thinking, if the environment that we're living in, every single person, we are the variables that bringing some sort of how do you say it, some sort of value, even if it's statistics, data, right, on what we're doing, how do we comprehend it, and how do we involve, and how do we tackle the tasks, and how do we deal with problems. And I remember my mother said, and one time she said, problem is the thing you can't solve. If you can solve it, it's not a problem. So with that being said, going back to the motto, unofficial motto of our family is, if you don't like it, change it. If you don't, or hold on a second. Yeah, pretty much. If you don't like it, change it. If you don't change it, don't complain it. So that's an interesting one, because I went across yesterday, I did some notes, and I looked through some stuff, and sometimes trying to find an inspiration by reading the signs of the world, like what I see along the way, being alert. And there was this word that came up literally from a movie, right, or television series, and someone mentioned there, they mentioned, oh, shoes, man, I'm already in the middle, right, so I have to go. But they mentioned family motto, and I was like, oh, what's my family motto? And I was like, right off the back, because I remember when I was back and dealing with my, let's say, struggles, right, I was actually was complaining, you know, and I didn't recognize that. I was like, not quite blaming, I even would say that was a passive way of blaming or taking the responsibility off my shoulders and putting on someone else. And then I said, you know what, sometimes it's a hard way out, because it doesn't go away, the issue doesn't go away. And then I was thinking, you know what, I'm going to bed with that, so, and I'm waking up with that on my mind, so I better sort it out, or it's never gonna go away. And what helped actually was speaking to my father, right? And I understand that not everyone has a father, or at least can't always speak to their father. So I'm lucky enough and fortunate enough to have this, I wanted to say luxury, but to have this opportunity, right? And moving on together is crucial pinnacle what happened to me, rather than running away and going on endless travels and backpacking and trying to not pretend, but say seeing the world and this and that, which is great. And then I was like, you know what, maybe for me it was unconsciously I was running away. And when I recognized that, when I admitted for myself that actually I am running away, because at one point it wasn't anymore as much of fun it wasn't anymore as much more fun, because when you're young and you kind of like, you don't have a plan in sense of it, you have just this inspiration doing things, you got energy, and you got these big dreams, which is great. And I think that's what it keeps us going, the dreams, goals, and ambition. But when you lose that, if you do, right, because I called it mental health is a topic in general, because the brain is I would say it's a complicated thing, you know, in sense of it, it's really advanced mechanism, right? Mechanics, what is it, cognitive, tangibles, cognitive mechanics, right? And it can play games on its owner, on you, right, on me. And that's what happened to me. Like, it's easy to get and to be full of yourself, and sooner or later the life wakes you up, and if you don't want to wake up, you're gonna sleep in, and if you sleep in, you will be late. And that's what happened to me for one or another period of my life, you know, like the phase that okay, actually what brings me back, I'm going into the wild stories again, but I think this time I'm gonna cut it off in 16 minutes, keep it shorter, and see how it goes. Alrighty, have a good day, talk to you later, bye.